Have you ever sat in a room full of people who claim to love you and felt completely, utterly invisible? It is a quiet, terrifying kind of starvation, smiling while you slowly disappear. If you are tired of carrying these invisible weights alone, I invite you to subscribe to the Psyche Unfolding. Let us explore these hidden spaces of the mind together. I know that feeling intimately. It is not the loneliness of a castaway on a deserted island. That is a loud, obvious isolation. The loneliness we are talking about tonight is much more insidious. It is the hidden loneliness. It is the feeling of walking through a crowded street, surrounded by hundreds of heartbeats, yet feeling like a ghost passing through solid walls. You speak, people nod, you laugh at the right moments, but there is a pane of thick, frosted glass between you and the rest of humanity. You can see the shapes of others, you can hear their muffled voices, but you cannot truly touch them, and they cannot touch you. It is exhausting, is it not? The daily performance of pretending to be whole, when you feel like a collection of fractured pieces. You wake up, you put on your face, and you step out into the world you are functioning. You are doing your job, you are checking in on your friends. You are the one people turn to for advice, but inside, it feels like an abandoned house. From the street, the house looks perfect. The lawn is manicured, the paint is fresh, the curtains are drawn perfectly. But inside, the rooms are entirely empty. The floorboards creak with the weight of unsaid words. Dust gathers on the window sills of your unexpressed emotions. You are maintaining a beautiful facade, terrified that if anyone actually walked through the front door, they would see the echoing emptiness and turn away. This hidden isolation breeds a very specific kind of silent panic. You start to wonder if there is something fundamentally broken within your machinery. You look at others laughing together, seemingly deeply connected, and you wonder what secret language they are speaking that you never learned. You feel like a stranger in your own life. It is like being lost in a dense, dark forest as the sun goes down. The shadows grow longer, the temperature drops, and every snapping twig sounds like a threat. You are walking in circles, shouting for help, but your voice is swallowed by the thick canopy of trees. Nobody is coming, because nobody knows you are lost. They think you are perfectly fine, walking on a well-paved road. This is the cruelty of hidden loneliness. It demands that you suffer without a witness. It forces you to swallow your tears because you have no reasonable explanation for them. You have a roof over your head. You have people who know your name. So why does your chest ache with this hollow, resonant pain? The pain is real. It is a physical heaviness, a tight band around your ribs, a lump in your throat that refuses to dissolve. You are starving for deep, true connection, but you are terrified of the vulnerability required to get it. You have built a fortress to protect yourself from being misunderstood or rejected, but the fortress has become a prison. The drawbridge is permanently pulled up. The moat is deep and dark. You are safe from the pain of rejection, but you are also completely cut off from the warmth of genuine love. You spend your days reinforcing the walls, making sure no one can see the cracks, but the tragic irony is that the very walls keeping your fears out are also keeping your joy out. The air inside the fortress grows stale. The silence becomes deafening. You are the sole ruler of an empty kingdom. We spend decades constructing our masks, believing they are our armor. We paint on smiles, We rehearse our casual laughter. We memorize the scripts of small talk. We become architects of our own emotional isolation. And the terrifying part is that we become so skilled at wearing the mask that we forget what our own face looks like beneath it. We look in the mirror and we see the performance, not the person. This is the profound tragedy of hidden loneliness. It is an alienation from the self. When you spend your entire life trying to be what you think others need you to be, you slowly sever the connection to your own inner compass. You drift away from your own shores. The ache you feel in the middle of a crowd is not just a longing for other people. It is a profound homesickness for your own authentic self. You are missing you, but I want you to pause for a moment and take a very deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs completely, and as you exhale, I want you to consider a completely different perspective. What if this profound sense of isolation is not a symptom of your brokenness? What if it is actually a sign of your deep, unfulfilled capacity for depth? You are not empty. You are heavily guarded. You are a vast ocean, and you have been trying to satisfy your thirst by sipping water from shallow puddles. The reason you feel so lonely in a crowded room is not because you are incapable of connection. It is because you are craving a level of authenticity that superficial conversations simply cannot provide. You are offering the world a heavily edited, polished version of yourself. You show them the triumphs, the smiles, the competence. You hide the doubts, the fears, the messy, unresolved parts of your soul. But here is the vital truth that changes everything. Connection true, life-sustaining connection cannot attach itself to a smooth, polished surface. It needs friction. It needs texture. It needs the raw, unvarnished truth of who you are. When you only present the perfect mask, people can only love the mask. They cannot love you because they do not know you. They are interacting with a phantom, and of course, being loved for a performance will always leave you feeling utterly alone. The loneliness is a signal. It is a blinking red light on the dashboard of your soul, telling you that your current way of relating to the world is not working. It is a desperate plea from your inner self, begging to be seen, begging to be acknowledged, begging to be let out of the dark. Imagine a tightly wound clockwork mechanism. For years, you have been turning the key, winding the spring tighter and tighter, trying to keep everything under strict control, ensuring every gear turns perfectly, ticking away without a single flaw. The tension inside is unbearable. The metal groans under the pressure. The hidden loneliness is the sound of that tension. It is the friction of trying to maintain an illusion. But what happens when you decide to simply let go of the key? What happens when you stop forcing the gears and allow the spring to slowly, naturally unwind? There is a moment of terrifying surrender. The hands of the clock might spin wildly for a second, but then it settles into its natural rhythm. It begins to tick with a relaxed, steady heartbeat. This is what happens when you begin to drop the mask. It is frightening, yes. It requires you to stand in the light and say, "This is me, I am flawed, I am afraid, I am sometimes very sad, and I do not have it all figured out." But in that exact moment of vulnerability, something miraculous occurs. You create a jagged edge where someone else can finally hold on to you. You give them permission to lower their own drawbridge. You realize that the very things you were hiding, your fears, your insecurities, your quiet sadness, are the exact materials that build the bridge to another human heart. You thought your darkness made you unlovable, but it is actually the only place where true intimacy can take root. You must understand that perfection is intimidating. It pushes people away. It is our shared brokenness that draws us together. Think of a beautifully crafted ceramic bowl that has been dropped and shattered into a dozen pieces. Instead of throwing it away, imagine carefully gluing it back together with gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are illuminated. The bowl becomes infinitely more valuable and deeply beautiful precisely because it has been broken and repaired. You are that bowl. Your scars, your history, your moments of feeling utterly lost, these are the golden seams that make you uniquely magnificent. When you hide them, you are hiding your most valuable essence. As you begin to understand this, the heavy fog starts to lift. You can see the outline of the trees, and you realize the forest is not as hostile as it seemed. There are paths leading out. You just have to be willing to walk them without your armor. This is not a journey you have to take entirely alone. If you are finding value in this shared exploration, please take a moment to subscribe to the Psyche Unfolding. We will keep illuminating these quiet paths together, week after week now. I want you to imagine walking out of that dark forest and stepping onto a wide, open beach just before dawn. The sand is cool beneath your feet. The sea is calm, rhythmically rushing up the shore and retreating, a continuous, soothing breath of the earth. The sky is a deep, bruised purple, but on the horizon there is a thin line of pale gold. This is where you are right now. You are at the beginning of a quiet sunrise within your own soul. The heavy backpack you have been carrying, the one filled with rocks of expectation, the need to please, the constant agonizing fear of being truly seen, you can just slip the straps off your shoulders. Let it drop onto the sand. Hear the heavy thud as it leaves your body. Notice how your spine instantly straightens. How much easier it is to draw breath into your chest. You do not have to carry it anymore. You do not have to perform. You do not have to be the strong one all the time. It is perfectly acceptable to be messy, to be uncertain, to be a work in progress. You are allowed to take up space exactly as you are. The dawn is breaking. The light is slowly washing over the water, turning the dark waves into liquid amber. You can feel the gentle, unconditional warmth touching your face. This is the warmth of self-acceptance. The profound realization that you are fundamentally worthy of connection, not because of what you achieve or how well you hide your pain, but simply because you exist. You are a breathing, feeling, deeply complex human being, and that alone makes you a masterpiece. The next time you find yourself in a room full of people, and that old, familiar ghost of loneliness tries to tap you on the shoulder, do not panic. Do not immediately try to build a wall. Just acknowledge it. Say to yourself quietly, I feel disconnected right now, and that is okay. Then take a small, brave risk, share a genuine thought. Admit a tiny uncertainty. Let a sliver of your true self catch the light. You will be amazed at how quickly the frosted glass shatters. You will be amazed at how many other ghosts are wandering around, just waiting for someone brave enough to become real. The world is full of people who are secretly longing for the exact depth you have to offer. You just have to be willing to be seen. You are safe now, the storm has passed. The water is calm, you can finally rest. Just breathe in the cool morning air. Let the warmth of the sun wash over you, and know that you are deeply, truly, and undeniably enough.